Hey, this is Ray with Boudoir by Ray Taryn, and this is the first, the maiden voyage, if you will, of the Boudoir Confessionals. And I am here with Cassie, who has done a shoot with me recently, and we're going to kind of talk about her story just a little bit. So, welcome to my humble abode.
Thank you.
It is actually my abode and not my studio today, but in any case. So why don't you start off by telling me a little bit about what got you into the idea of boudoir? Is this something you had been looking into for a while, and kind of like your journey going to it?
My journey coming to you, we'll say, is a long dream, because as my journey has taken me, I've never felt confident enough to do anything like that, but it's always been on my mind of how cool would that be? How cool would that be to get done up? It's the closest I'm ever going to feel like a celebrity, be in front of a professional camera, see what I look like and would look like that way. And it wasn't until somewhat within the last couple of months, because I've hit a milestone in my personal growth journey. I've lost over 120 pounds.
That's incredible.
So I was like, what better way to celebrate that than to see this body that way? Mm-hmm. So, long story short, there's a few people that had already joined up with you in your Facebook group. So that led me to, let's do it.
Nice. So there's obviously like a ton of boudoir photographers in the area, and I know a lot of them. They're all incredible humans. But what kind of drew you to me, versus anybody else? Because again, like I said, there's a ton of us.
Fair enough. I do know a couple of people personally who have worked with you. I think seeing you personally stood out for me. On your website, you have a video where you explain why. That makes a really huge difference for me, because art is art, and everybody's expression of it is why they're good at what they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. But something drew me to you and your eye in your gallery and your photos and how you see things. And that really stood out for me. And then after I had my shoot, I knew I picked the right person.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. Yes. So how was like the pre-shoot stuff after you decided to like take the plunge and like go all in? How was the experience like leading up to the shoot after you had already booked?
You know what? I appreciate how structured it was, because other things that I've scheduled that have kind of been kind of like this, but not really. I feel like you can get lost in the shuffle sometimes, but the way you have your system to where there are text messages, there are emails, there are pre-worked out packets, reading material, you make yourself available personally by phone, by email, like all of those things kept me in the loop with you, that made me feel comfortable leading up to the shoot.
Awesome. So the day of your shoot, let's talk about that. That's a big one. How did you feel like the day you woke up? Because you came to me on a weekend, right? So you had a daytime session. So like it was like a 9 a.m. or so.
It was 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
So that morning when you woke up and you knew it was your day, what was your first feeling?
I was a mess. I was like, okay, it is showtime. We're going to do this. I took out a piece of luggage from my closet, and I used one, maybe two things out of everything that I brought, just because I felt like even though you made it so easy for me, I still felt like I needed to be prepared in case it came up. And then you had things that I could use that I didn't even think of. So right. That was another plus thing for me, because I was so nervous I wasn't going to have something that could have been important, that could have made a difference. So whatever I was lacking, you had. So that was just another bonus for me. I was a mess that morning. I brought tons of stuff, but you made it so easy I didn't need any of it.
So like a lot of people will actually bring luggages or big bags full of stuff. And like I'm a Libra, so like I don't make decisions well. I'm at the stage of my life too where people ask me things and I'm like, I don't make decisions. That's on you. So when it does come time to like, I've gotten better. gotten a lot better. But like packing for a trip is miserable because I'm like, oh my God, I haven't worn these jeans in 17 years, but I'm going to pack them anyway, just in case. So it was awesome that you came with all this stuff because I do want you to make sure that you feel the best with what you bring and what you're wearing and the things that really truly show who you are. You know, whether it's like I've had people bring in like golf clubs because like they were doing something for their husband and their husband golfs. You know, I had a girl bring in a wrench because her husband works on a railroad. I mean, this thing was huge, like hashtag weapons.
Awesome.
But like, you know, so like, you know, I always love it when people bring in a ton of stuff that way, you know, because we can go through everything, you know. Because I don't have like an outfit limitation, you know, we go through what we go through, and then when we're done, we're done. So you also got naked too, didn't you?
I did. I didn't think I was gonna, but I did. That's just because that's a personal thing for me, and I guess that was also a bonus for you, is that how much you pushed just for me to be comfortable in my own skin helped me look happy in front of the camera. Like
right.
I wasn't nervous once I got past, you know, the initial kind of, you know, anybody who gets naked thinks you're going to be judged like first thing,
right?
But
yeah,
as soon
absolutely
as you,
no judgment.
as soon as you squash that, for me, the rest of the shoot was cake. It was really nervous at first, but you made that decision better.
So how was hair and makeup?
Perfect. I was also worried about that because I personally am a very low maintenance person. I don't do my hair and makeup. Short hair, I don't have to. But having, you know, having her there, having somebody doing my hair and makeup to take that stress away was just another added bonus for me. I looked like I was professionally done up because I was. I didn't do that.
I stay in my lane. That is not my lane. That's why I pull my Kaylee in, and it's like, hey, you take off with this.
Yeah.
Because that's not my thing either.
Yeah.
But so during like hair and makeup probably took like maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. Do you feel like that time helped you to kind of like bring your nerves from like an 8 to a 4?
That too, yeah, because it wasn't just like get right to it. It was like a warm up. It was like a warm up. I got to chat with you and Kaylee. I got to see my face start to like take form. Like, hey, this is actually going to happen. We are actually going to take some pictures today.
Right, like we can't back out now.
Yes,
there is no turning around now.
There's no. We're doors locked. We're on the road. Let's go. But I love the journey. I do feel that did. Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely.
How was the shoot itself? Like talk about like what was your favorite things to do during the shoot? Like what did you love about the shoot? You know, kind of talk about like that like couple hours where we were actually like clicking the shutter button.
What I loved about it is the structure that you have. You definitely have you have everything set up to a way where you know how it's going to turn out, but you're flexible at the same time. Like for every station, like it felt like we kind of did sections and stations so you could see the lighting and see how my body was, you know, looking on the camera. Like you put your personal in there, but was still open and was open with me. Mm-hmm. At no point did I feel like I didn't have a say in what we were doing. You had your path, but you let me in on it. Like you didn't just do it. It was like we did it together, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Like
that made me feel better about it.
That's one of the things too that, you know, I feel like with this is your experience. You know what I mean? And I want to make it as you as it possibly can be. You know, obviously I do my thing because, you know, unless if you're a professional model, which literally nobody is, you know, it's even then I have had models come in and shoot with me before, and like I still have to guide them through everything. But it's like, hey, do you want to do XYZ? Like, you know, like let's do this. We want to do this, you know. So I always like to make sure that you're completely involved in those decisions. I mean, some people don't want, say, the vanity set. It's like, okay, well, let's skip it. No big deal. We'll just move on to the next thing. So we took, you did the same day reveal, right? You came back?
Yeah.
Okay. So during that 90 minutes that we were split up for a little bit, what were you thinking? What was going through your head?
Did any of them come out good? Just because, I mean, like I said, I'm low maintenance. I've never been in front of a professional photographer before. I just, one of my hesitations actually leading up to this was, I don't know what I'm gonna look like in camera. Physically just was unsure. I've got, even though I've had a lot of weight loss, my skin can be unflattering, like just a million different things, like the camera catch any of these flaws that I look for when I take pictures of myself. And then I didn't see that in any of it.
Awesome. So when you came in and we started going through the pictures, because obviously I was showing you some pictures. Your reactions, I swear to God, like I still like here, it's a little watery. Because I remember when I showed you the first image from behind the camera, you like were just thrown like you were thrown off in left field. You had no idea. And what was that feeling for you?
When you showed me that first picture, she showed me a picture of a smile I haven't seen on my face in a really long time. The picture was perfect. It was me. And I was beautiful.
Yeah, you are. I get emotional seeing all that stuff too, because like, I'm the same as everybody. I'm the same as all of you guys. Like, confidence happens, but like there's days that it's not so confident. And when you get to see yourself how you don't normally see yourself, it's a raw feeling, that unexpected, especially going in knowing it's like am I even gonna like any of these? And then you see that first one. So I think I showed you something like 200 images or something like that. Maybe like 250, because I put everything into black and white too, because that's like my obsession. But how was it like that first go round, like going through all of them? How did you feel seeing them all put together in a gallery?
I didn't think that I was overwhelmed with how great they all came out. They were all great. Like there was all of my worries on how I was going to look and what flaws were going to be magnified in the camera. There was none of that in any of my pictures. I think I had a harder time picking the pictures that I wanted now because they all look so great. And honestly, going into, I'm like, I'll just get the base package because there's no way that, over so many pictures are going to come out making me look like a movie star. But they really all did. I, as a result, got to double the package that I really wanted to spend, but it was so worth it because the experience was just so much better than I had even hoped for.
So, like during that part, as we were picking through images and whatnot, did you ever feel at any point like I was trying to pressure you into getting something you didn't want?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I try to make sure that I do this for you, and I do this for all the women who come in front, and I want everybody to not only be happy with what they've done, with the experience, but not feel like they were pressured or bamboozled or anything into making a decision that they don't want. Because, at the end of the day, it's super exciting to see like, oh my God, there's 700 pictures and they're all amazing. It's easy to play off that emotion. But I knew you had a goal package in mind, and, I tried really hard to make sure that I could help you narrow things down. And I wanted to make sure I didn't feel like I was pressuring you at all at any point.
You did not. This was, out of all the transactions I've had in my life, this was the most control I felt that I had because you let me have it, and that helped as well. At no point did I feel pressured. You went back and forth with me as all the times that I needed to pick all the pictures that I wanted, and you took the time to let me come to. At no point did I feel like you were ever rushing me out the door or making me take something I didn't want. And I also love the fact that you said that I could always get more pictures later. So I didn't feel like I was stuck in just picking what I was picking and then leaving and then never talking to you again. I always feel like I have access to, what we did. So
I still talk to people from like 3 or 4 years ago, like do a quick check-in, or they'll, hey, I had a question about XYZ, and it's like, like I feel like, once I've seen you naked, I feel like we're friends at least. You know what I mean? Like,
there's that.
Because I as a Libra, I do like to have friends too. You know what I mean? And I do what I do, to make other people feel really great, but also to give a connection that I feel like so many of us in this very social media heavy, like, time of our lives don't get. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love being able to stay in contact with my friends and family in Florida and like all over the country, all over the world. You know what I mean? Like right now my husband's in Italy, and like I can still talk to him because social media, yay. But I also want to make sure that I have that connection with people. And, like I said, I've seen you naked. You're my friend now.
But that connection, I feel like you had a part in why my pictures were good, because you made that connection with me. You made me comfortable. You told dad jokes. Yes, my forte. One of my favorite things. Like, you found ways to make me genuinely smile. They weren't like taking your school picture. They were genuine. That is why I exploded into tears, that first picture, because that smile was genuine. There was no stress there. It was just me.
I love that. Your session was probably one of my favorites of recent times. Only because like the vibe was like perfect. Like, I feel like you're like me in a different body. And, like just seeing that raw that initial reaction, like that's my cocaine right there. You know what I mean? That's why I do what I do, is like, because the first time, like whenever back in like 100 years ago, it seems like, when I decided to like take this hobby that I've always had and do something with it, I was like, oh, I'll do weddings, I'll do families, like, that's all there is, right? So I'm like, there's sports photographers, but like, I don't want to be like in the sweat zone. I mean, okay, so like, don't get me wrong, like it gets sweaty in my studio, but like, basketball sweat, football sweat, that's not my thing. So like, I didn't know anything else. And then, I had my like bestest friend in the whole wide world want to do a boudoir shoot. And I'm like, the f*** is that? And then her reaction was similar, that initial, and like that hooked me immediately. Like that is my boost of all the things that I need to like, keep me going. I mean, times go up, times go down, things get easy, things get hard, but it's like, it's that reaction that keeps me doing all this. It's that reaction that keeps me going till 11, 12 o'clock at night, creating albums and, making sure that like, I like post on Facebook or something once in a while, because like I have to do that to stay relevant. But that's all that keeps me going, so that way I can hopefully reach people like you and be able to give you a little bit of that piece of yourself back, because underneath it all, like we all have this like feminine energy, and I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're like foo-foo girls that like do our nails and hair and makeup and lashes and all that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, that's just not everybody does that. But regardless of if you do all that or not, you do have this like divine feminine energy underneath. And that just, in the course of everyday life, being a mom, being a wife, doing the life thing, that gets pushed down so far. And I like to be able to give that a little bit. And like I'm literally covered in like horse crap most days. Like I'm gonna go tonight and go do barn chores, and I'm gonna be covered in mud and horse crap and whatever. You don't feel feminine and beautiful when you're covered in horse crap. But like, and I'm like, a lot of my people, like, we have jobs that like we work hard, and to get the hair and the makeup and these like beautiful pictures that you can like open your phone and scroll through the digital gallery and be like, oh, that was awesome.
I still do.
I look at mine once in a while too. I did my own a long time ago. They used to be up on my website, but I've since gotten significantly better. So mine have come down in favor of other people's, who's, because I practice really hard at what I do to get better. I always like, I've got a big workshop coming up for my underwater stuff that I'm really excited about in May. So I'm always pushing myself to learn new things and to be better for you guys. So that way I can deliver the absolute best experience that I possibly can for all the people who trust me with those intimate moments. So in saying that, my work has gotten a lot better over the last few years. But one of these days, I'm gonna, when I have 5 minutes to spare, I'm gonna book my own shoot and go through with the whole thing, and then I'll make sure I share it with everybody.
I would love that.
I'm hoping probably late this year, maybe early next year, to be able to get something on the books with somebody. So Libra. I've got to pick the photographer that I want, because like I'm not gonna do it myself, because selfies are hard. Not gonna lie, doing selfies are really hard. But you know, I have my eyeball on a couple photographer friends that I asked to do my shoot for me. Awesome. But you know, I still do look at those pictures once in a while and be like, ooh, like my boobies look good. It's like, look at my butt. So you know, I know what that feels like, to be able to like go back and look at those pictures and be like, it kind of like just brings you up just a little bit for that day, even if it's like the shitty day, you know, it's raining, or you know, you get bad news or whatever. You see the pictures and you're like, that's not too bad.
That was a good day.
That was a good day.
I look at those pictures now and I go, that was a good day. That is what I do with those pictures now.
It was so much fun.
That was. And I was worried about the whole naked, like all the things that I was worried about are now squashed now that I've actually gone through it, because it's not all about just getting naked. Like none of my pictures I was really truly naked.
Right.
But it still gave that appeal. They're still gorgeous. There's still so much art there and so much empowerment, and I can't get over how great they all came out.
I absolutely loved your gallery. It was so pretty. And then I did ask you if I could share your images.
Absolutely.
And you're like, yes, absolutely.
Yes, you are the reason for them. So yes, you may.
But you know, I do always respect people's privacy in that like, you know, I have people who have high positions in society, and they're like, you know, I really don't want my pictures being out there. Or they're like, no, this experience was literally just for me to see. Like they don't have a husband to show them to, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or anything. These are just for me. I'm like, hey, that's cool.
Okay.
That's totally fine. Like, if you don't want to share, you don't have to, but I love it when people give me the opportunity, especially when their sessions are amazing. Cause like I can't get over your eyeballs in some of those pictures too. Like,
right?
Like it's like, oof, like absolutely amazing.
I can't, your camera does magical things. Magical things.
Absolutely. So what piece of advice do you have for people who are kind of on the fence about it all?
Just do it. Because it's not a lot of, in talking with people, because of course I've talked to a million people since my shoot, because I'm just ecstatic how everything went. I think we get hung up a lot on the what ifs, kind of like I did for a while. But it's not, you know, don't get hung up on the word. It's not all about just being naked. It's about making you feel beautiful with all of these options. It is an option. It is not the identity.
Not a requirement.
It is not the identity of the session. So if a hang up of yours is getting naked, do not get hung up.
No, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You could wear a full on like sweater dress if you want. Boudoir is a state of mind, not a state of dress.
Exactly.
And that's, you know.
My advice is if your hang-ups are self-image, don't get hung up on that, because she'll fix that. If your hang-up is money, don't do that, because she offers tons of like pay-as-you-go types of options. So it's not like you have to do it all that day. That was a hang-up of mine. But another reason why I decided to do it is I had options.
Right.
A lot of places, there aren't a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
Since you offer them, there's score number 2. And number 3, if you've ever had a moment where you just wanted to see yourself done up like a celebrity, like you see magazines and you're like, you know what, I bet I would rock that. You need to do this now, because this is your closest opportunity that is within reach of you to not only work with somebody who gets the look and the art and wants to get you personally, is that she's going to give you that output, that proof that you're going to take with you and have forever.
Nice. So is there anything else that you wanted to share, anything about any of it, or
I think we've touched on a lot of the key points that I take away from my shoot, is that you made it from start to finish. I felt like there was a structure. You were available. You made it comfortable. You made it about me. It wasn't about anything else but me. You made sure I was happy every step of the way. You even told jokes to make sure my smiles were genuine. And you gave me your time. It didn't feel like a business transaction. It felt like two girls hanging out. So it made all the difference. And now I have something forever that I can keep looking back to. Whenever I have a bad day, I pull those up and I go, you know what? That was a good day.
What was your favorite picture?
Oh man. I think I'm torn, but these days the one I pull up the most, and I've actually changed most of my profile pictures to, is there's a window shot of me in a blue robe up against the window with my reflection.
That one is super pretty.
Is my favorite. It's my favorite picture. I do like the one with there's a picture of me with a mask, because you can see my eyeballs, and the mask just happens to be the color of my eyes.
It was
so
like,
it really
perfect.
like every time I look at that picture, I'm like, yeah, that was meant to happen.
That was super pretty.
That was meant to happen. But I do love the window picture, because it doesn't even look like me, like the me that I know, like the me that I'm like. Sometimes I'm lucky if I get a shower in, because my day is just ridiculous. But then I look at that picture and I'm like, you know what? That's me.
Like, I've taken No Shave November, like, way overboard. So I feel that,
yeah.
You know, and
so that's my favorite.
I love that one. I think my favorite one is the one of you laying on the red robe on your stomach with your hands like something like this, and you're like looking at the camera. I think that might be my favorite.
My eyes are beautiful in that.
Or the roby thing, the fluffy shawly thing. I really like that one.
Yeah, the faux coat?
Yeah, yes, that one.
Yeah, I do love
I really dig that one
love
too.
That coat. I do love that coat. That was the one thing that I pulled out, like, let's try a couple with this coat, just
and
because.
I'm like, shit, yeah. So that's one thing, like, I have the attention span of a squirrel on crack. So if you bring something that you want to bring, that you want to use, and I forget about it, should be like, hey, BT Dubs, want to use this? And I'll be like, okay, my bad.
And she absolutely did.
Yeah,
and
right.
we did that.
It's like, oh my God.
But like I said, completely stress-free environment, made it the best time that I've had in a really long time. I felt like me for the first time in a long time.
Sweet.
I wasn't overstressed mom. I wasn't running off to work. It was just you and me going on an adventure of getting this done. And then I left with such a sense of accomplishment. And like I said, I keep going back to the pictures whenever I have a bad day. It's like now my happy place, all because of you.
Did you show your husband?
Yes.
What did he think?
He was like, because he's kind of like, I gotta give you context for him first. He's normally not a picture kind of guy. Yeah, he's one of those kind of more of an observer. Once you get him to open up, then you're like, there he is. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, he's not a big and honestly, this was kind of like mostly for me anyways, because he's not one of those types of people that needs pictures of me. He's always been very supportive of me, even before all the weight loss and stuff. He's loved me for me. But when he saw the pictures, he was like, wow. And I was like, I know, right? Who is this girl? I better not catch you looking at her while I'm not paying attention, because that's me, buddy. But yeah, no, for somebody who does not.
My dog is over here looking at the fridge. I have no idea what he's doing. It's so distracting. All I hear. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
I love dogs so much.
Oh my God. Max, let it go. Dear Jesus. So anyway.
That was hilarious.
The man of few. Sorry. That was
yes.
Squirrel.
Man of few words was even like, wow.
I love
Those are, and I'm like, I know, right? Do you even know who this chick is? That's cute.
I'm so pretty.
Yes, I was super.
You're gonna pretend that. And this is me. This is how I actually am in real life.
But it makes it so much fun. Like, you could tell that you were just one of us.
Like, I'm literally just a normal human. Like, And I always say I'm like the least intimidating person on the face of the planet. Number one, like I have a really long torso, so I'm like able to look eye to eye with you. But like when we stand up, I lose it all in the legs. Like I'm the size of a circus clown. That's like the little ones. Like 5th graders are bigger than me. Like I'm just not, like I'm loud. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm clumsy. I forget left and right. I spill my coffee. You know, I'm distracted by dogs licking the fridge. So, you know, I'm not intimidating at all. There's no reason to fear me.
No, you're genuine. And I think that is a bonus point for you. At least for me, it was.
Awesome.
It still is.
Well, I appreciate you coming all the way out to my house, actually, to come in and hang out for a little bit. I know the dogs are a huge bonus, and I appreciate you, you know, taking some time and talking about your story and your experience.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Anything to help out and to reach everybody out there, just do it. You're going to love it. I did.
Perfect.
Hugs.
Yay! I had so much fun.
Absolutely.
All right, sweet. Toodles!